Welcome to 1111, which is a segment for my podcast where I talk about a topic for 11 minutes and 11 seconds. I hope you're having a lovely day or a lovely night or whenever you're listening to this. This episode or this one is about my favorite book in the whole entire world. It's called For Small Creatures Such as We by Sasha Sagan. I don't know. Sasha Sagan. So basically, this book. First of all, this book is one of my favorites. I'm probably going to make my kids read this book because I love it so much. Second of all, it reminds me of my favorite times because I read the 4 Agreements before this book, and that's when I was first getting into books. And then this book just reminds me of camping because I read this book so much while I was camping and doing yoga and all of that stuff. It also reminds me of like sitting in my truck and just reading this book and like analyzing it as if I was a high school kid. But this book is basically an autobiography about this woman, this Jewish, non-religious Jewish identifying woman who was raised by 2 scientists. Her dad was a famous, he had like documentaries and he had a bunch of different movies and books, and he believed in science, but he did not oppose his kids or his daughter to the idea of God, although they didn't celebrate any holidays, which really resonated with me. I was like, I really vibe with this because I wasn't really raised with any holidays either. And basically her book is how every tradition, how every holiday, how everything we grew up with is all tied down back to olden days and is all influenced by how our ancestors thought and how casually along the way, social constructs and a bunch of like money and like just like people who were focused on the money part of things and of controlling other human beings created organized religions and stuff like that. And she wanted to develop this new tradition for her and her daughter, which by the way, I saw her Instagram and she had a boy and it was the cutest thing ever. But she basically opened my eyes to a lot of different point of views about traditions and religions and holidays, because I'm not a religious person. I don't, I feel like I'm more of a spiritual person. I don't like organized religion whatsoever, and I don't identify with any religion. But she actually she's, I think, atheist? I'm not sure. No, I think she's agnostic because she wasn't opposed to the idea of God, but she believed more in science, which is kind of like me. I'm like, I don't believe in God, but I believe more in, facts or in, auras and energies. And right now I'm reading this new book that I'm super excited about. I love this new book that I'm reading because it's teaching me a lot about different things. But as you know, I analyzed the book as if I was in high school. I think it's because I was homeschooled and, I like analyzing stuff. So I'm just gonna close my eyes and I'm going to open whatever page and whatever sticky note. I'm gonna read it. Oh, this one's about sex. Okay, so first of all, sex. So I wrote, sex is nature, it is normal, social constructs and religions have dragged it into a major vanilla taboo. But everything polymono is normal and okay, it does not harm. So this one, sex is beautiful, it allows your energies to flow and it's glory of nature, another social construct. Other animals have same-sex relationships, have same-sex relationships. We are animals, nature, social constructs. So this is what I'm talking about, how she broke everything down into it being a major social construct. For example, in this case, sex, and same-sex relationships and sex and just casual sex or polyamorous sex and all of these things, and basically saying like we're meant to have sex, we're meant to come, we're meant to have all of these things. And I feel like society has made it into a really big taboo thing. And she was discovering how in the olden days it was normal to have so much sex. There were sex parties and all of that stuff. And it's like, but as we casually evolved, everything became so taboo and everything became just really you don't talk about it. And now I feel like now we're kind of shifting to where like sex is good, sex is okay, sex is, you know, normal, like it's not nothing to be ashamed of. So now let's go somewhere else. Let's see. Chapter 5. Realizing you screwed up, owning up to it, apologizing to yourself or others, and changing is very important. A lot of different religions practice the same. Create own morals. So this was basically a chapter 5, which was about confession, and seeing how different religions have different forms of when you realize that you screwed up, you go and, you know, repent, and like, you know, you say sorry to like the priest or whatever. Well, she was saying how she basically created this law in her family and herself, saying if I mess up with my friends or with my daughter or with my husband, she says she's going to recognize it and apologize right away. And it's a tradition, and it's something that, you know, I feel like it's very normal. And I think it's normal to screw up, and it's normal to apologize. And it's also something that I like to do, and I like to learn to do. Knowing, hey, I screwed up, I apologize, I'm sorry. I feel like that's a good thing I learned from this book. Next sticky note. Chapter 1. Not everything happens for a reason. Birth, death, life. It's all things that happen and we simply exist. See, I am a firm believer in not everything happens for a reason, because that would say there's this big plan that kids dying in Africa of AIDS, it's just meant to be. Like, no, that is not meant to be. That is where, you know, my either my luck or my logic and reasoning come in play. And she talks about it in this book as well, how this is all, we're just existing. It was just their luck, you know, and it sucks. It sucks, but that's just their luck, and I'm sorry. And I just can't believe, and hey, this is a big plan of some wizard in the sky, like everything happens for a reason. Like, no, it does not, because that would simply say all these kids in Africa or these people who have it so bad, like all these homeless people, and all of these bad things that happen to people is because of this big master plan. Like, no, it's not, and I cannot believe in that. Okay, next. Next sticky note. Okay, this wasn't about gratitude. So I've been trying to show gratitude. I've been trying to wake up every day and journal, like, you know, 3 things I'm grateful for. And it's something that's allowed me to just really be at peace with what I have and be at peace with what I own, and be grateful that, hey, other people don't have it as good as you. So you really just have to be grateful. And this is what I wrote. She has this ritual in which she doesn't eat, shower, moisturize for 1 day, allows her to picture if she lived like this, and makes her grateful. Some people are born with luck, privilege, but it's the most basic essentials that have us lucky. Not going hungry, having hot water and electricity. Doing more, donating money, clothing, food, not buying things you don't need when you can help others, gratefulness. It's just something that I'm also working on, so I think I wrote that for myself. Okay. Oh, autumn. Okay. Hold on. Let me find a really good one, because this book is everything. Oh, she also like based this off of like science, because her dad was a scientist. So she was basically saying how logically and like scientifically we're all breathing everyone's past air. Like everyone who died, all our ancestors, all of that, we're all breathing the same air. And it was in the chapter about death. Which I love how she titled her chapters. She started with birth, then she went into seasons, and then she ended it with autumn, winter, and death, which I loved. And this one's says, death. Not feeling our emotions during hard times and blocking them is not healthy. Doesn't allow you to be in the moment, then you have to feel it later. She was talking about how when her dad died, she blocked all these emotions and she had to go to therapy because she didn't deal with them. And then she goes, all deaths are connected. They bring out the same emotions, trauma as the last one. So basically saying when people die, you have to heal in order for you to not feel the same emotions all over again. And then my last one says, we all live, die, breathe, experience life on this earth. Nothing has been discovered about afterlife, so just live this one. That was my takeaway from this book, because she really based so many amazing facts And it's just one of the most well written books about, hey, I don't have I don't believe in God, okay, but I love tradition, and I love having traditions. I love having morals, because I feel like there's this big stigma about people who don't believe in God, that, hey, they're just, this crazy person who has nothing for them. It's like, no, we do have morals. We do have, we're just as lovable. We're just as, curious. We're just as beautiful as the next Christian. I think she explained this book so amazing about science, and about how everything kind of intertwines, and she did it so respectful as well, and I just love it. Please read this book called For Small Creatures Such as We. I bought this one at Barnes and Noble. I'm sure you can probably order it on Amazon. I don't really recommend that, but hey, if you want a good book and a good read, I recommend this book. I cannot recommend this book more. It's just amazing. Here, let's read a last sticky note. Not everything is a sign, but it's okay to create or find things that connect you to certain people. That is our takeaway. I love you so, so, so much. Thank you for listening, and I appreciate you. Bye.